Welcome to MMA Daily, your go-to source for daily updates, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from the world of MMA. Stay tuned for the latest on fights, fighters, events, and everything you need to know about the sport that never stops. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with all the action. Starting off, Mike Tyson makes huge $13 million purchase following Jake Paul fight. Moving on, Islam Makhachev vows to shut up Arman Tsarukyan at UFC 311. Lastly, Nate Diaz responds to Islam Makhachev over water bottle incident at UFC 311 presser. Heavyweight boxing legend Mike Tyson has made a big purchase following his blockbuster showdown with Jake Paul. When Mike Tyson first agreed to fight Jake Paul in a boxing match, it's safe to say some were concerned. Tyson is approaching his 60s, whereas Paul seems to be right in the middle of his physical prime. Still, millions tuned in to watch it on Netflix, with Jake Paul managing to come away with the victory. Tyson wasn't really able to get going outside of a few flurries here and there, and that's being generous. Alas, while many decided to point and laugh, nobody could deny that he did well to receive a pretty substantial payday. According to a report from Palm Beach Post, it seems as if he's opted to celebrate in style. As per the report, Tyson now owns a home in the Delray Beach area that is worth $13 million. It's part of the exclusive Tierra del Rey estates, with the warranty deed being filed on January 13th. The sale is for a 2.7-acre lot with a lake. While it's purely speculation, you'd have to imagine that this stems from the money he was able to earn from fighting Jake Paul. He didn't get the result he wanted on the scorecards, but he certainly came away with a whole lot more than what he went in with. Islam Makhachev plans to make sure Arman Tsarukyan never talks about him again after UFC 311. Makhachev is set to rematch Tsarukyan in the main event of UFC 311 on Saturday night. It's a highly anticipated fight as it serves as a rematch of their 2019 bout, which Makhachev won by decision. Tsarukyan had taken that fight on short notice in his UFC debut, but was still able to put forth a fight of the night performance. Since their first fight, Arman Tsarukyan has called for a rematch as he believes with a full camp, he would be able to beat Islam Makhachev. Yet Makhachev plans to prove he's wrong and vows to never mention him again. Arman talked too much, but January 18th I will make him never talk about me again. Makhachev is expected to win at UFC 311 as he enters the bout as a -410 favorite. So the odds makers expect him to get his hand raised on Saturday. If he does, it would end his rivalry with Tsarukyan as he would be 2-0, and it would seem unlikely a trilogy bout will happen. Islam Makhachev knew Arman Tsarukyan would be next, as he felt he was the clear-cut next contender. Makhachev says he's always chasing the biggest fights, which is why he wanted to face Tsarukyan. Honestly, I knew like 5-6 months ago it was going to be Arman, because he's the #1 contender right now, and he really deserves to fight for the title. I've said all my fight career, I want to fight with a real contender, or a real fighter who deserves a title fight. That's why I think he's deserved his shot. It's going to be a huge fight for the fans because he has all the skills. He's good in the striking, he's good in the wrestling, the grappling. That's why it's going to be two high-level fighters fighting. Makhachev is 26-1 as a pro and coming off a submission win over Dustin. Nate Diaz has responded to UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. The rivalry between the Diaz brothers and the Eagles MMA team is quite a lengthy one. A decade ago, Nate Diaz famously got into a scuffle with former UFC champion Khabib Nurmagomedov at a World Series of Fighting event. While things didn't get too out of hand that night, the two have been at odds ever since. Their rivalry was renewed last month in Las Vegas. While Khabib wasn't in town, Islam Makhachev was. The lightweight champion was in Sin City to help promote his UFC 311 rematch with Arman Tsarukyan. The same week, Nate Diaz arrived in Las Vegas to help corner Kron Gracie against Bryce Mitchell. Before the UFC 311 presser, Nate Diaz and Islam Makhachev's team got into a little fracas backstage. According to the Russian, the longtime fan favorite threw a water bottle in his direction, likely due to his rivalry with Khabib Nurmagomedov. Makhachev admitted that he was confused by the whole incident, revealing a recent cordial meeting with Diaz. Well, that meeting was news to Nate Diaz. Taking to Instagram earlier today, the 39-year-old released a lengthy post slamming Islam Makhachev and his team. According to Diaz, the UFC champion's version of events is false, as is the story about the two having a cordial conversation in an elevator months ago. Based on the former UFC star's comments, it's clear that things between the two aren't over. However, Islam Makhachev has to shift his focus to his return on Saturday. In the main event of UFC 311 on Saturday, he will look to make his fourth defense of lightweight gold against rising contender Arman Tsarukyan. Meanwhile, Nate Diaz's next fight remains unbooked. The 39 39-year-old former title challenger last appeared in the boxing ring in July, scoring a unanimous decision victory over former UFC rival Jorge Masvidal. Thanks for watching another video on MMA Daily. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more of the latest MMA news. Stay tuned for the next one. See you soon. Take care.